Departments under their luncheon. Sometimes they use it a little more. We started with $14 million more than
Yeah.
You guys saw whatever his name is, did he get kicked out?
Yes.
I'm just saying, anything like my husband.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the victories we'll get out of Trump's election is something on the northern corridor.
Oh. Awesome. Yeah, do you want to say a word about it? Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's great.
What was that?
All right, welcome everyone. I think pretty much everyone's gotten through the line, so we're going to call this meeting to order so we can leave plenty of time for our speaker. How's everyone feeling? Can we have a little applause? It's a big relief to get the win, and it's looking good as they continue to come in. So happy day for our country to move forward and make some progress over these last hard 4 years that we've had. So that is exciting. Thank you so much for being here. I know we have a lot of visitors and friends, so we're glad to have you. We do want to recognize our elected officials. We have Representative Colin Jack. Thank you for being here, Colin. He's doing great work for us in the legislature. And we have Chair of the County Commission, Gil Almquist. We're going to give him a minute in a second. And Adam Snow was here, but he had to run to another meeting, and he won his election as well this week, so that's exciting. Keep him in there. Let's see, who else am I missing today? Elected officials. Joanne is newly. We were like, oh, she won. We assumed. Yeah. Our new state school board member. Good. Thank you, Joanne. And anyone else that I missed? I think. Okay, today. It's a busy time of year, so we got Colin, so perfect. And does anyone want to introduce their guests that they brought? I know we have some new friends, so yes, go ahead.
My mom, because she's been here with
She has been. We're happy she's back. And Judy, good, thank you. Thanks.
Kathy is sitting right here.
Kathy, yes.
She just moved here from Ogden.
Welcome.
She's part of the Republican women in Ogden.
Perfect, yes. And then back at this table, yes.
I got my husband.
Good, thank you, Cliff. We love our men members as well, so.
Judy Stack has been with
Judy,
me
good.
before, but she just joined.
She just joined. Welcome. Awesome. Yes. So happy to have you. Yes. Happy. Yeah.
And Heather Lindsay's here.
Heather.
That's from United.
Good. Welcome. Yes.
I have two
Suzanne.
friends. This is Melissa Montrose
Melissa.
from Pennsylvania. This is another new friend, Victoria McClure
Oh,
from
yes.
California. From Texas.
Oh, Texas.
She worked for the Bush family.
All right. Yay. We have Alexis isn't here, but you'll want to meet her. We call her Alexis from Texas, so you guys can bond over that. So that's good. Well, welcome to all. Did I miss anyone else? Or? Okay. Good to have you. As far as announcements, we're winding down on the year. It's been a busy year. A lot of election stuff going on. So we just, of course, have Veterans Day coming up. There's a parade that goes down Washington Telegraph, and the county has a float, so you're always welcome to ride in that, join in on that, and take place. There's lots of activities that day going on for Veterans Day. And then the UFRW was going to have a ball in December, but I think it's getting postponed a little bit, so I'll keep you posted on that, but this year is the 125th anniversary. We were the first Republican women club, the Salt Lake Club was, in the whole country. So they're celebrating that 125 years, which is really awesome. So we'll keep you posted on those details coming up. Let's see. All right, well, let's start with we're going to have our prayer by our chaplain, Sharon, and then we will have our Americanism by Charlotte and pledge. And then we'll turn the time over to Joanne for a membership report.
Okay. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful to Thee to be together and for our host and caterer who provides this meal we receive from Thee today. We're thankful to Thee for last month's successful meeting with Brad and Kim. We're thankful to Thee to welcome today Dennis Leavitt of United We Pledge. We're glad he's here and we look forward to hearing from him. We're grateful to Thee for Utah's election results, though currently unofficial, indicate Republicans won 83 out of 102 races statewide. We are very grateful to Thee for Tuesday's many blessings, a decisive victory with the result on election night, the patriotic and awakened millions of Americans through which Thee provided the victory, the electoral and popular vote victories, a Senate majority and likely House majority, the resounding repudiation of the Biden-Harris far-left policies and the blue wall collapse, the end of the Democrats' relentless lawfare against Donald Trump, the unprecedented mandate bestowed upon the Trump-Vance administration, a sea change coming, and the beginning of the golden age of America. We are grateful to Thee. And we continue to pray as we await the result in Nevada, Arizona, and the remaining congressional races. Father, we ask Thy blessing for Dennis Leavitt. May his work with United We Pledge and Liberty Village be enjoyable and fulfilling as the project comes to fruition, and may it be a tremendous success. We ask Thy blessing for all those elected nationwide. May they serve their constituents honorably. We ask Thy blessing for our President and Vice President-elect. May they remain safe. May they unify and improve the lives of all citizens. And may their administration awaken more Americans through their leadership and policies. Lastly, Father, we ask Thy blessing for the peoples whose lives were forever changed by Helene and Milton. May they continue to receive the help and support they need as their recovery and rebuilding their lives continues. Father, we humbly ask these blessings in the name of Thy beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
One of the big issues we decided on this election is immigration. And so what I've chosen to speak today about is coming to America. People have been coming to America since before the original settlers in the 1600s. No matter where they came from, every person was seeking a better life, free of oppression. They crossed oceans, thousands of miles. Some alone, some came with their families. They came with what they could carry and a dream that one day their children would not share the difficult life they had left. President Benjamin Harrison established America's first federal immigration center in 1890 in New York Harbor off the New Jersey coast and named it Ellis Island for a merchant, Samuel Ellis, who owned the land in the 1700s. Prior to that, the processing of immigrants had been handled by individual states. When Ellis Island began operation, people had to pass a rigorous 3 to 7 hour medical examination. 2 inspectors checked and double-checked every person entering. Passing the medical exam, however, did not guarantee entrance into the United States. Many were turned away for religious or political ideologies, or they didn't have enough money to support themselves. About 2% were deported, which tragically rendered many families shattered. Some of the returnees faced mortal prosecution back home and did not return to try the process again. It was difficult and arduous, but for those who made it through the process, it was the final step on an ocean crossing journey and a step of completely new life. Ellis Island immigration peaked at the period between 1892 and 1924, though it continued to serve as a temporary detention center and hospital until 1954. On November 12, 1954, Ellis Island, which is the gateway to America, shut its doors after processing more than 12 million immigrants. Today, nearly 40% of all Americans can trace their heritage to an ancestor who passed through its gates. Ellis Island National Museum of Immigration is a living monument to the story of the American people. Inside the restored main building are carefully curated collections of photographs, heirlooms, and searchable history records. Visitors to the museum can feel the spirit and the hopefulness of eager arrivals who want to find an opportunity, and it also allows visitors to gain an appreciation for the nuances of American melting pot. And it serves as a popular tourist attraction. If you've never been to Ellis Island, I encourage you to visit if you have the opportunity. It is actually amazing. And their records are vast. Okay, now stand and repeat the pledge. Allegiance to the United States of America. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Okay, well, I just want to say welcome, everybody. This is probably my last time to be part of membership and be here because school board meetings are the first Thursdays of the month in Salt Lake. So I will miss you and be ever so thankful for Republican Women for giving me my start into politics and helping me. I just had this call, felt like I needed to get to know people politically that were here in our community with COVID and just get involved and be part of the process. So I'm so grateful for this group and for all the amazing women and men that I've met here and people. So thank you. And I hope it continues on strong and we can pass the torch with membership. We have a couple of new members. I just want to remind everybody to rejoin if you haven't for 2025. We only have about 10, I think, that have joined. I just did today. So we have two new members today, Akemi Cardin and Nina. Are you guys? Nina. Okay, Nina. So you want to stand? Thank you so much. Welcome. And then we had a couple, I can't find my email that had the names of the gold. We had a gold and silver, a couple of gems. We have a gem program. If you're not familiar, it allows us to not have to fundraise. We have men that join as associates and then also as gem members. So you pay a little bit of extra that gets to stay right with the club, and that's a great thing. We've got silver, gold, and diamond available. So thank you.
Nina was silver.
Okay, Nina was silver?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other person was the other gold. She's not here.
Okay. All right. Well, enjoy the lunch. I'm so excited to have United We Pledge here today.
Thank you. Joanna has done an awesome job. She's got work to do now in the school board, but hopefully we'll still see her. I'm going to turn the time over to Commissioner Almquist. He had a quick update with the new administration.
Well, I certainly don't want to take time away from Dennis and his group having to pull that out. The best thing of all is what happened on Tuesday for Washington County. And you have no idea. When January 21 came along, Biden signed 550 projects canceled in the United States, one of which was our northern corridor. Even though Donald Trump had signed the record of decision that we could go ahead and fulfill Congress's Act of 2009 on lands bill that said you shall designate a right-of-way for a road, recognizing that we would grow and that we would need to get east-west and not put everything down the boulevard or up Love Street and all the other busy roads we have. So our push is to have the record of decision reinstated. And Celeste Malloy has promised that she spoke with President Trump and said, we have some local issues, amongst many, but this one in particular. Now, I think everyone in this room has been mislabeled by the Democrats and others as not caring about the environment. We all care about the environment. We want to protect species, we want to keep Washington County unique, right, with the things that we have. They don't understand, some of them, that 71% of our county is already owned by the federal government, and they dictate what happens on that property. So when they think that we're going to cut down every tree or dam every river, so that we can't. We just can't anyway. But we do want you to know, and you'll be the first group to know. I started with the good news. Some groups that work against us have said that roadway should be on Skyline Drive, or what we know as the Red Hills Parkway up by the Dixie Rock. And that was their alternative that the BLM suggested, because there are groups here that don't want us to have our very moderate roadway through what we call the Northern Corridor. Bless the hearts of those that live in Green Springs, but that roadway was going to go by there and has always been on the map. Nevertheless, if I said to Fred, I'm going to give you $6,800.
Thank you.
Would you give me 158 back?
I'll do it, Bill.
Okay. All we're saying is, if you hear something about Zone 6, which is a beautiful area past Bloomington, biking, hiking, all sorts of it, that was acreage that SITLA and the BLM partnered up on to give in trade for 158 acres of the Northern Corridor. That was the deal. And so, quite frankly, though, there are groups that say, no, we want both. We want to keep that gift, and you cannot have a road. So hopefully the Trump administration, bless their hearts, will see it the way it was, and that we'll be able to alleviate transportation pain by having the roadway where it goes and not cutting through all sorts of businesses in St. George. It's a crazy thing. I've taken too much time. Haley, thank you, President, for this time, but I want y'all to have that update, and you can go home and say, hey, we're kind of the first to know.
Thank you so much for that update. It's very important for us, so I know our county's been working hard for that.
And we balanced our budget, no tax increase.
Yay. All right. I also failed to mention, I get up here, sometimes I forget things, so keep me on track. But the note cards, remember, if you're new at the table, you can write a question and we can gather those at the end. We'll ask Dennis any questions you have. There's volunteer forms on the table, so keep putting in your volunteer hours. That's political, if you've been campaigning, phone banking, any of that. There's also non-political, so if you work for your church or a community group, those can be counted as well. And next month, for fun, we'll announce and have some prizes for the whole year of our members and their hours, service hours. So good job. But it also goes to the National Republican Women too. So thank you for that. Well, Alexis is usually the one that introduces our speakers, but I also should have announced that she had her baby, if you didn't know, and they're doing really well. So little girl named Mila, and she's very happy. So if you see her, then congratulate her. But so I will do the introducing today, which is actually great because I've known Dennis for a long time. I moved across the street from him probably when I was 14 or around there or something like that. So we were neighbors for a while. We worked on a little leadership club when I was in high school, and Dennis is a great guy. But a little about him. Him and his wife, Nicole, they've been married for 40 years. They have 4 children and 9 fantastic grandchildren. And his career has had many different opportunities. He's been an educator. He was my seminary teacher. Many kids have had him as an educator. He's been a motivational speaker, an author, businessman, and he's been the president and CEO of a couple nonprofit organizations focusing on youth and families in American history and civics to empower youth and preserve their liberties. Dennis got his associate's degree from Dixie College, bachelor's degree in political science from BYU, and master's degree in educational counseling from the University of Phoenix. He's currently also serving a church mission presidency here, second counselor, and has done a lot of service for our community. So there is a lot more I could keep saying, but we're going to turn the time over to Dennis, and he's going to talk about, so each year I should preface to Republican Women, we choose a nonprofit, a charity in our community that we want to partner with for the next year. And this year we thought it would be great to partner with United We Pledge because we love what they're doing for our community and with this Liberty Village. And so Dennis will tell you more about their organization and what they're doing and how Republican Women can help, whether we are going to be donating financially or giving items, whatever we need. So he'll fill us in on that, and we'll turn the time over to Dennis.
If I walk with this microphone or don't even use it at times, are we okay with that? I can be loud, but if this works and I don't have to stand behind that podium, then I feel especially happy. We'll see if this PowerPoint works. If it does, great. If it doesn't, live by technology, die by technology. So if it doesn't work, we're just going to talk our way through things. If it does work, that will be fantastic. Let me start by saying something that I don't believe is unpopular in any way in this room, but I want to just make sure and clear the air on a couple of things that are important for me. So I'll stand on this side of the room to do that, just to say this. I belong to a church, and I belong to a political party. Both of those things are very important in my life. United We Pledge, if I were to come to this side of the room, is officially, and not just kind of in word only, but we really are non-denominational and non-partisan. It's important for us as a nonprofit in those things that we ensure that everyone understands that we're here to build bridges. We're not here to proselytize to a particular church or to a particular political party. We're here to help all youth get a firm understanding of the ideals. Well, can we go to a different slide than that? Sorry, let's start with the first slide. You're really awesome. That's my bad. Okay, but I just want to make sure that that's clearly identified from everyone's perspective, is that we are nonprofit, nonpartisan, and non-denominational. We believe that everyone needs a fair and accurate history that's verifiable of the storied and wonderful history of our nation and our founding fathers. We believe that history and civics are so critical to the people of this nation, but that we do not want to only target one group of youth, but we want to target all of them. On this side of and I'm not going to stand over here much, but I'm just going to tell you what drives me and what causes me to really believe in our cause so much does happen to do with my personal political beliefs and my personal religious beliefs. You may or may not share, and I know you share my political beliefs. I speak to a lot of groups, and I'm like, I think everyone in here, we're on the same page that way. I don't know that you all share with my religious beliefs, but my religious beliefs let me know that this little county has done a tremendous work for our founding fathers, whether everyone in the county knows it or not, and that the fingerprints of America rest squarely on the foundational and historical significance and prevalence of St. George, Utah, and Washington County, Utah. A guy named Glenn Beck asked me once, why are you doing what you're doing here in Washington County? And the answer is simply a religious answer for me, is that Washington County has always been good to the founding fathers, and we'll always do everything we can to uphold their ideals and values. Similarly, all the things that we stand for in our party are things that drive me personally to say that we have to be good citizens, that we have to limit government, that we have to do all that we can to remember our history and do what we can to help future generations. So with that motivates me personally to do what I do. I'm going to stand in a nonpartisan and non-denominational stance for today and tell you a little bit about United We Pledge and Liberty Village, if that's okay. United We Pledge, the name was chosen specifically 3 years ago by a committee of us who were talking about what is needed amongst youth in our nation. And certainly a coming together and in civil ways, even if we don't see things eye to eye, having a chance to not start more fights, but start more healing and unity. And that pledge needs to be made in a way of commitment and a real, more than just, I want to be a good person, but pledge involves more than that. It involves an inner commitment and a real serious pledge or sacrifice to doing things that are good. So our entire vision and goal is this in United We Pledge. We want to provide best-in-class educational platforms focused on the history and core principles of our nation's founding documents. We focus completely on the Declaration, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and all of our education for kids. And we want to make sure that not just those documents, but the principles found in those documents are well understood and embraced by America's youth. I could ask you, you can tell me, you know, there's a civics problem in America, right? Joanne, I'm personally, again, just so pleased that someone with your character and your background and your love of history is going to be in a place where those kinds of things can make a difference. You're more aware of, and you ought to give this report more than me, but there is a massive civics crisis, not only in America. Utah has its own fair share of problems. Curriculum being changed, core curriculums are being changed. But in terms of just, if you've not read any of the civics and history studies that are out from across the nation, that's something that is worth paying attention to a little bit. Proficiency in 8th grade civics is down to an all-time historical low of 22%. People are stopping to say the pledge, you know that, and are worried about that. It's something that's just not part of our national culture anymore. Only 1 out of every 3 people can even name 1 branch of the 3 branches of government. Now, these are just some indicators. This is not meant to be a scare tactic. I'm not trying to cause anyone to get up in arms, other than to say this isn't hype. There's been so many studies and so many articles about this decline in education. And we wonder why sometimes our young adults are making the decisions they make or kind of voicing the kinds of opinions they voice when they don't have a good foundational background in civics and history. So I am actually the president of 2 nonprofit organizations. United We Pledge has a board of directors, and it's a nonprofit that's been established for 3 years. I'll show you what we do at United We Pledge. Haley, you wrote this quote from President Trump in your newsletter that I just read the other day. You said, treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. So from our perspective, the crisis in America is not something we bury our heads in and say nothing can be done. We actually take that as a challenge of saying, we're going to do something about it. I quoted in a recent meeting that Kathy or two, one of the last books I read, there was a quote that said, if your dreams don't scare you a little bit, they're not big enough. We dream big at United We Pledge in Liberty Village. I'll show you the size of our dreams and what we're working on right now. But we do that because we don't believe anything's impossible. I don't know if I'll show you our bus here in just a minute, our mobile exhibit, but one of our key themes at United We Pledge is imagine the impossible. Or ignite your impossible, we just cross out the I and the M. We don't want any youth to feel like they can't become anything they want to become and do anything they want to do because they live here in this nation. There was a German man who used a piano analogy, and he said, what we do to succeed is we lift where we stand. That's what we do. We're not crazy enough to believe we're going to change the world. We may not even change the state of Utah or this county. But where we live, with the resources we have and the capacity that we have, we're going to change and lift where we stand. And we're going to do all we can to motivate ourselves to make magical things happen. United We Pledge runs a program called Give Me Liberty. Give Me Liberty is a program that's designed for elementary school children. We're now in fifth grades, most all of the fifth grades in Washington County. I just met with the governor of Nevada, not that this is a Nevada-based organization, but Clark County is a school district in shambles, and it's one of the lowest ranked school districts in the nation. It's a large, unwielding school district. They have an interest in Give Me Liberty program. We've met now with administrators from Iron County, from Kane County. We've met with the State School Board of Education to get their endorsement for our program. The local Board of Education has given us their endorsement, the school superintendent. We just have this really robust program that we say we want to literally do fifth grade civics and history. We want to support teachers. I was a teacher for a long time. Teachers are overworked, underpaid, overwhelmed, right? It's a group of people who need all the help they can get. And we can either say, give us more money by raising taxes, or we can say, why doesn't somebody from the community kind of roll up their sleeves and come into classrooms and help? We choose to be the guys coming out of the community into classrooms to roll up our sleeves and help fifth grade teachers every way that we can. We're expanding to the eighth grade. We just announced for the first time in Utah, there'll be a civics bee. It's a state that's not ever had a civics bee. So we're running an eighth grade civics bee this year. And then we'll expand Give Me Liberty to the 12th grade in the coming years as well. But we want to give every youth touches in civics and history in every way that we can. Heather Lindsay's our educational manager. She's put together a tremendous program. We've taken the state core standards and matched our program so that every state core standard for history and civics is matched with the Give Me Liberty program. So any school that embraces the Give Me Liberty program, they're going to have an enhanced educational experience of what the state would ask them to be taught during those particular years. The Give Me Liberty program is an awards program first and foremost. We basically say to kids, we're going to give you a long list of things that you ought to do at home with your family. And if you'll do it home with your family, then we'll give you like pizza and t-shirts and medals and awards and all these kinds of things, right? And then the schools say, well, where are you getting all the money to do this? And we're saying, well, we'll go find the money. We'll knock on pizza parlors and donut shops and car dealerships. We'll go knock on any door that we need to. But we shouldn't say to the schools, hey, we have an extra program for you, you fund it. As a nonprofit, our duty is to say, we're going to look where we stand. So here, it's to your school if you want it. We're happy to have you embrace it, and then we'll just go find the money to make it happen. At the Black Desert Championship, for example, United We Pledge was just given a $200,000 check in order to help run this program. We can find money. I'm an old seminary teacher, but I know how to raise money, and I'm willing to go out and knock on doors in order to help kids. It's what we do. So the awards program is the heartbeat of it. We thought instead of just an awards program, we ought to add additional things so that kids can be invigorated and inspired to learn about American history and civics. The awards program kind of looks like this. Kids can, win bronze, silver, or gold. We've had some great quotes from teachers and administrators who are supportive of it and are starting to see the miracle of a Give Me Liberty program in an individual school. The awards program, again, has all of these cool things. Haley, you were probably a Give Me Liberty student in fifth grade, I imagine. I know you well enough to know that you checked all the boxes. We've enhanced the program to the point where in order to be a Give Me Liberty Gold student, you would have to do things like interview a veteran. You'd have to do a community project, a service project in your community. You need to ask your mom and dad who they voted for and why and what they think are the most critical issues facing our little town. You need to do things like do an art project. So instead of just memorizing the Gettysburg Address or memorizing the 50 states and capitals, we're asking fifth graders to do extra kinds of things in their community and in their families to help motivate and inspire and help them become engaged and really understanding those things. But it's a comprehensive program. It's all online. You got copies of anything that you want, but would love to tell you more about that. In addition, we've hired actors and actresses who go in as Betsy Ross and John Adams and Jefferson, Isaiah Thomas, a colonial printer. And we take to classrooms a chance for kids to print declarations of independence, or we give them a chance to dip candles and talk about the pledge and the flag and sing the national anthem together and do all kinds of things that inspire them. So we run for every Give Me Liberty school an assembly for the day for their 5th graders. In addition, somebody asked me once, what do you need for Give Me Liberty? I said, I need a van. By the time you start taking printing presses around and, hauling all this stuff to schools, I need a van. The gentleman from Findlay looked at me and he said, would you take a bus? I said, heck yes, I'll take a bus. You want to give me a bus? I'll take a bus. So we took a school bus and raised a lot of money to turn it into a mobile exhibit. I hope you've seen the school bus. I hope you've seen the Liberty bus around town. If you haven't, then you need to drive it in front of your house and honk the horn. I'm happy to do that as well. But we have a full-time bus driver who's a guide. I went through, because I had not been through the bus tour myself for a little while, knowing I was coming today. So I went through the 15-minute bus tour with the guide acting as if I was a 5th grader yesterday. It was inspiring and delightful. It was really good to hear someone talk about our founding fathers in positive ways, to talk about the foundation of the Declaration, why it came and what it contains, to have them talk to me about the Constitution of the United States and that supreme law of the land that needs to be not memorized, but remembered and followed. And then I had a little chance to work on some iPads and watch videos about the Bill of Rights and all the freedoms that we enjoy as Americans. We take that to all of the Give Me Liberty schools. It's been in a couple of states now, it's headed to the Capitol, at some point. But it's a bus that can be on the road, maybe not 365 days a year, because we tend not to do much on Sundays where we work. But anyway, the Give Me Liberty bus is a very cool thing, and it's available for 5th graders. I can save questions till the end, but just know that that's what we do at United We Pledge. And we're doing everything we possibly can with our small team in order to help kids in school and help teachers to be motivated to be better history and civics teachers in every way possible. Liberty Village is an entirely different 501c3. It's a totally different nonprofit. Although they're sister types of companies in the terms of, for everyone who's a Give Me Liberty student at a Give Me Liberty school, we give them a free field trip to Liberty Village. This year, the field trip, because Liberty Village won't quite be there by April, we're going to give them an opportunity at the county fair. We worked with the county commissioners. The county fair is going to have an American theme this year, and we're bringing in 80 colonial reenactors from across America who will come everything from redcoats to, coopers and tanners and bakers, and we're going to set up a colonial village, a temporary Liberty Village at the Washington County Fair this year, and invite 5th graders to come to the county fair so they can get a feel of what Liberty Village is going to be like. So every Give Me Liberty student gets this field trip experience as well, so that they can come to Washington County's version of Colonial Williamsburg is the simple elevator pitch of what we're building. And as people come to Liberty Village, I don't know if you've noticed, do you know how many people come here to play soccer and pickleball from northern Utah? You ever seen how many visitors come to this town? And again, maybe it's just me. There's a lot of them. We expect a lot of them will come to Liberty Village, and as they do, one of the messages we'll be given is your school a Give Me Liberty school? Why would you come to Liberty Village and then not make sure your school's a Give Me Liberty school? So even though we're separate 501c3s, there's really a great cohesion between what we're trying to do, and it is educational oriented. Here's what our mission and vision statement look like for Liberty Village. We want to be a premier destination in the Western United States, inspiring appreciation of America's history. And we want to foster a passion for liberty through entertaining education. We call it edutainment. If you've been to Colonial Williamsburg, you get the idea that people dressed up like historical figures can walk around and you can have a conversation with George Washington on the streets. That's something that would be at Liberty Village. But if you go to Colonial Williamsburg, you don't get a chance to go into a room and put on a 3D interactive kind of technology-based experience and really kind of engage in ways that youth need to engage. So we're bringing together education and entertainment in this edutainment sort of philosophy, and also incorporating technology in the ways that we need to. But we're going to change the US with Liberty Village, actually. Liberty Village is a 32-acre campus. It has 21 historical replica buildings. So the idea behind these replica buildings is to build to scale iconic buildings from American history that look exactly like the original building looked. For example, we're building the Green Dragon Tavern. There is no Green Dragon Tavern that exists in America right now, except for a coffee shop in Boston and a bookstore in California. They don't look a thing like the original Green Dragon Tavern. Our Green Dragon Tavern will be authentic. We're working with the most, the best scholar on the Green Dragon Tavern in America is a guy named Andrew Cotton. He lives in Alabama, of all places. But he is our advisor for the Green Dragon Tavern. All of the architectural work is done on it. It will be in Washington County. We think a lot of people will come and tour the building and want to see it. But that's where the Sons of Liberty met. It's where they got together and planned this revolution and said, we cannot stand for tyranny anymore. We have to do something different. And they pledged their lives and their fortunes and their honor to do something really noble. We think the Green Dragon Tavern ought to exist in America. We think that kids ought to be able to come to it and learn those stories and have an immersive experience in that way. And so it's one of the buildings. I could go through all those buildings and you'd say, why'd you choose those buildings? And we'd say, because of the story that happened in those buildings and why that's a particular part of the American dialogue that needs to never be forgotten. We also have 13 structures and features. If that doesn't scare you a little bit, right? That's a big vision. That's a big impossible. That's a $160 million project. That's not like you all of a sudden just wake up and fall out of bed every day and go, hey, we're going to build something and it'll just happen. It just won't happen without a lot of hard work and roll up your sleeves and a guy like me and others on our team going and saying, hey, we need your help and we need everyone to kind of join in and pitch in. So went to the county. I don't mean to pick on Gil, but I will, because they've declared Washington County as America's county. They wrote a proclamation about our county and what we would commit to and stand to. And they donated some funds in order to help things like the Green Dragon Tavern happen and make sense. And we'll go to the legislature and we're going to keep asking everyone we can, everywhere we go. I was on the phone with a guy today and he's like, I'm a young dad. I can't help a lot. You guys need lots of money. And I said, would you give me like $10 a month? He said, I can give you $10 a month. I'm all right. Go to our website then click the button and give us $10 a month. We'll take anything and everything. But it's a massive vision. If you think it's just a dream and not happening, that number actually, I need to change that slide. To date, we've raised over $30 million in 2 years. It's not that we're hoping that something magical happens. We've raised some serious funds. It's come by way of in-kind donations as well as cash donations, and it's come in unrestricted and restricted funds. What took the $24 million up to 30 was I just had a lady from Salt Lake pledge to match every donation for the rest of the year up to $5 million. And we had a $3 million piece of art donated to us. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with a $3 million piece of art, but we're going to do something with it eventually. So anyway, the numbers are growing, people are donating and helping, and we're spreading this message way beyond Washington County because it's not going to come out of the pocketbooks of everyone just from this county. It's a regional destination. Liberty Village, so I don't know how much time I have. I could talk a long time. I got to end here shortly, don't I? But real quick, let me just show you what that money's doing so far. We're building roads. If you've been out to 3000 South and Hurricane, you would notice bulldozers and backhoes and trucks. The roads and utilities are going on. So the roads and utilities are going in. Liberty Way is the official address of Liberty Village, thanks to Hurricane City, who made that possible for us. The roads are funded. The 13 Colonies Plaza, which will be the first part of the village built, is funded. It's actually, Gil stood up in a meeting and said, I'll donate the 13 trees plus the Liberty tree. All 13 trees are a different variety to send the message that 13 colonies were all unique and that they came together in a unified way. through the spirit of cooperation in order to form the United States of America. The Liberty Bell is just finished at the Foundry. We had a Liberty Bell crafted that was the same one that did the Liberty Bells for all 50 states during the bicentennial in 1976. So that bell's just done. Kathy Smith was kind enough to donate the cupola, a replica of the Independence Clock Tower that will stand at the head of that cupola. So it's a 1 acre park that has some great messaging in it about America and our storied history. That's funded. Also funded are 3 presidential pavilions. We have pavilions like an outdoor pavilion you'd see that would give a shout out to and commendation to our first presidents who we would call part of our founding fathers group. The city said they want us to have a parking lot of all things and a restroom. So we've got parking lots and restrooms. All of those kind of things are funded. So we call phase 1 fully funded, and that will be done by, call it April. We're shooting for April 19th, the 250th anniversary of the shot heard around the world. They can't promise me that roads will be paved by then, so you may not be able to actually, we may not get a certificate of occupancy by April, but we certainly are going to have those kind of structures done in that range. So call it June at the worst when roads are done, and we set the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell was set in Philadelphia, you probably know, on June 7th. So we're really shooting for a June 7th ribbon cutting / kind of event to set the Liberty Bell. So that's what's been funded. We also have the Green Dragon Tavern fully funded, Isaiah Thomas's print shop where some of the first copies of the Declaration of Independence were done, and then Paul Revere's stable. He stabled his horse near the Green Dragon Tavern, so we're building a stable for that. That's basically what we have funded up to this point. It means we have a long way to go, but we're working hard. Liberty Village will look something like that when it's done. Here's a short video to show you.
We invite you to join us in building Liberty Village. Here, history will inspire future generations, and every visitor will feel a connection to America's core founding values. To bring this vision to life, your financial support, alongside your talents, influence, and resources, is vital. Become part of the Liberty Village family, and together, let's honor and preserve the legacy of our nation's founders.
So by the time you have St. John's Church, where Patrick Henry gave his impassioned speech, by the time Independence Hall is built to scale, Mount Vernon, Monticello, the Declaration House, the Elizabeth House, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. You'll want to come and bring your kids and your grandkids and enjoy it. And we're excited to be able to build it. You don't need to see that. I'm supposed to take that slide out of there. I apologize, but we have a little granddaughter because as an old seminary teacher, when you look to raise $160 million, at some point you have to look in the mirror and go, am I just going to ask other people for money, or am I going to help with money? So I went to my family and said, I can't just ask people for money. We got to give something, right? So I had a little granddaughter, Sadie, who came and surprised me the other day, and she brought a little packet of $200. And I'm like, Sadie, where did you get $200? She said, I've been doing my chores, Grandpa, but I want to help Liberty Village because you asked our family to help. So anyway, I know we can all do something. We're our families trying to do something. We're not just asking for handouts. We're trying to roll up our sleeves and make magic happen in Washington County. We're really trying to do something good for youth and for families. Anyway, there is one more video that you don't necessarily need to see.
Play it.
So just.
There was a time when youth learned of the sacrifices that built this great nation. When history was more than a subject, it was a torch passed down, lighting the way for the next generation.
Today, that torch seems to be dimming. History is being lost in classrooms. The scores, the numbers, they all point to one thing: a nation that's slipping away from the lessons that made us who we are. 96-year-old veteran and devout patriot Bryce Wilson added his voice of warning in his final years of life.
Our children and young people are our most prized possessions. They are our future. They are the future management of our country and our And it really distresses me to find that they're constantly being bombarded with negativism, with people who teach them, among other things, that it's not cool to be patriotic. Our flag is just a piece of cloth. We don't have to stand up for our national anthem and our Pledge of Allegiance. Our Constitution is just a piece of paper. It's more than that. And I think it's up to us as citizens, as parents, as grandparents, to rebut these things that they're being told, to let them know how we feel about our country and about our flag, to let them know that freedom is not always free, but sometimes it must be protected and defended. Patrick Henry gave us these words: "Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased for the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take. But as for me, give me liberty or give me death. God bless America." Thank you.
This is the purpose of Liberty Village, a place where history comes alive and the torch is passed on to future generations, ensuring they understand the values and sacrifices that shaped our country.
Liberty Village as it stands today is just an open field.
But think of it as a blank canvas, one that we, together, can help transform into a living legacy for the future.
Imagine this land filled with students, teachers, and families learning, experiencing, and carrying forward the lessons of history.
You can help us paint that picture and reignite that torch, not just for students, but for families and all Americans.
We're bringing history to the people, helping them connect with the lessons of the past so they can build a better future.
By supporting Liberty Village, you're not just donating to a cause, you're investing in a brighter future for us.
This is our moment to act, to inspire, to make a difference. Help pass the torch of liberty.
Anyway, I'll end where I started. I'm like you. I stayed up late Tuesday night and was cheering my head off when the red wave started. The red wave helps this kind of project happen. And the red wave doesn't mean that all of a sudden all's well and we don't need to do anything for the future generation. The red wave means that we now have a chance to capitalize and do things to really start to make a difference. Long term, not just a splash, but ripples that go on and on. So thank you for all that you do for the party. I should join some more events. I get invited to all of them, and then my little head goes, is the public going to see Dennis Leavitt, kind of nonpartisan United Pledge guy? Or anyway, I still always have to sort that out so that I'm representing the organization I represent well without being partisan, that I'm committed not to be professional. But thank you for having me. Thanks for.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions they want to ask? And I know he mentioned financially, so yeah, if we want to, do the $10 monthly, whatever, we can do that. Is there anything else, Dennis? Like, do you need physical volunteers? Do you need items? Anything else that the Republican women could help with?
Yeah, be careful what you offer, because if you really did say you want to, Yeah, if you really did say you want to volunteer, the problem is we're not like, again, sorry for the non-partisan quote, we're not like your home teacher who leaves and says, oh, if you ever need anything, and then you don't really expect to call them. We're not that group. If you said you want to volunteer, yeah, we got more to do than you would know. And that means if you want to, I don't know, did you see the flag in Snow Canyon State Park that's flying now? If you want to carry the flag in a parade, if you want to come and give tours on a bus, if you want to dress up like, Elizabeth Powell and go to school classrooms, if you want to go to school classrooms and donate or help with time, if you want to come work on our curriculum, if you want to edit, or if you want to read essays from 5th graders and 8th graders, if you want to check, there's more to do than, if you say you want to help, the problem is we'll really ask. That's the problem. There's a lot we're doing.
Question over here.
Are you still selling bricks?
Yes, we are still selling bricks. and we'll continue to sell bricks. They're sold at libertyvillage.org online. The bricks are going in that plaza right here. So the bricks will be down by April with names on them. That doesn't mean that will be the only place with bricks on, but we're putting a big push through April to sell 1,776 bricks of all things to recognize the people who helped make Liberty Village happen from the outset.
Another question that came in, will Liberty Village have an area dedicated for statues of the founding fathers and other prominent Americans?
The answer is yes. So we have on temporary loan, Gil.
That's okay, we're gonna buy our own.
On temporary loan, a statue of George Washington on a horse holding out his hand saying, "Stand your ground." If the rest of America tears down statues of founding fathers, we will not. We'll put them up. So we have a statue. The first statue for Liberty Village, again, will be set at the same time that Liberty Bell is set. And we'll continue to add those kind of statues to Liberty Village and everywhere. We're going to honor the founding fathers and the men and women who forged this nation. Yes.
Other questions? We can break our rule. I can bring the mic to you. We usually we write them down.
Where are you actually located as an, do you have an office set up somewhere?
So our business offices right now are in the Balance of Nature building on South River Road. 1658 South River Road. Liberty Village is off of 3000 South and Hurricane, in the Hurricane Valley, just off of Highway 7 and 9, so the southern corridor. Again, you could go out there and see dirt work and all of that going on right now. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
So my question is two-part, just being new here to St. George. We're doing executive protection with high-profile people and events that are coming over to Black Desert. So very close to the tracks with Patrick Manning and his father and all, groups that's funding. So I was just wondering on two sides of it, because whether, you're part of one tribe or another, Jewish or, like you said, nonpartisan, I know for a fact that one of Black Desert's main goals on the backside with Reef is to put St. George on the map to be a place of destination, not just nationally, but internationally. But I do know in the next 6 to 9 months, some of the people we're getting that are going to be building there, their homes, are, how can I say this? They're people who are red, and they're people who are family origin. And I think there should be some conversations of how we could put presence of this there, like on the 4th of July events or just any kind of patriotic holiday, because I know that they do like to highlight that stuff. So I don't know if you have a person that speaks to that. And on the second side of it.
So can I understand your first question? Are you saying, can we partner with Black Desert on patriotic events? Is that
Yeah,
what
like have some of the Liberty Village awareness there whenever we're having some kind of event. Not like PGA, but something that's patriotic.
Yeah, I have a meeting with Black Desert tomorrow, for example. We have a teacher appreciation dinner that we do every year. It's a little gala, but we want to say thanks to teachers. I've asked Patrick, and then he passed me off to someone about whether that could happen there. I think it's a great place to honor teachers. I'll use another example. We have a meeting in about an hour. I've got a meeting with Hope of America. Do you guys know Hope of America? It's a great program that's been running in Utah County for the last 20 years. Is probably not an exaggeration, but it's where school groups, these 5th graders come together every year. They go to the Marriott Center and they all sing patriotic songs for the end of the year. We think that's a perfect addition to Give Me Liberty School, where their kids could not just have their own little celebration in their school at the end of the year to get their medals and awards and certificates, but they all ought to come together and sing and celebrate. Well, we couldn't do that at Liberty Village. We'd have to partner with the university or Black Desert or others, but the answer is yes. We want everyone in Washington County to know this is America's county, and we all ought to come together in every way we can to build this fortress of goodness and traditional American values.
Second question to that, because I love it. I did not know when I came here that Utah's #1 in the nation right now for suicide, especially for young people 12 to 27, white males in specific. And St. George is #1 of Utah. And of the treatment centers here, about 60 to 70% of them are kids from Utah.
The rest are mostly from West Coast. I know that they do outreach things. We tried to get some influence there just to like let you guys know we're not forgetting you young people. You may be in a treatment center, but maybe there's a conversation that can be had with those people. Like if they have outings to go to Red Cliffs Mall, well, what about if you're just staying there 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend, or what have you? There could be some visit to say, you know what, you're here for a reason in this country. I was just thinking about that out loud.
Oh, I actually love that. We have boards and advisory boards, and we like to take as much, think of it as a blank canvas, and we're going to continue to create everything we can to make magic happen. But our educational focus is on field trips, on families coming who are vacationing in southern Utah, Zion National Park guests, but we have educational tracks that will start as soon as the road's paved. We'll start our first educational tracks, and we'll have 4 educational tracks that will be strong and robust, so it'll be interesting. And we have an education director, they're built, I'm just to build stuff. We have money in the bank, I just need to build stuff. Yeah.
So this isn't just a question for you, Dennis, but for everybody here. So it's really bothering me, as the years went by and things have changed, but how does this bad stuff, I call it bad, we're all old enough here, most of it, maybe some of the younger people, but when I grew up, okay, we had the Pledge of Allegiance, we had the 10 Commandments, there was biblical references. How did that all get changed? What kind of traction to like the wokeism and everything else start? Tearing down statues, history, how did that get traction?
Justin, you just answer will you answer his question about how it all kind of fell apart? I'm not.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's a really great question. I don't know that there's an easy answer. I will tell you that I had a conversation because we're looking for a development director right now. I need someone to help me. Dennis Leavitt can go knock doors and hold meetings, but at some point I gotta have somebody else kind of sitting in meetings like that. And in one of those development director hiring meetings, I was talking to a gal that just moved here from California. She told the story of a book that she read from her, I'm making this up, if it was her great-great-grandmother or whatever, but a Holocaust survivor who in her journal noted that the slippage happened a little bit at a time, one freedom at a time, one little lack of education at a time. When the school curriculum changes, it has rippling effects that are really damaging. We just have to be diligent and watchful. At this point, we are who we are. The schools and the nation and the studies are what they are. So I'm a guy who tries to look out of my windshield more than my rear view mirror, if that makes sense. I feel my life a lot happier when I just look out the windshield. And my windshield says, do something about the world as it exists today with all the resources that you have and that you can gather. So I just don't have an answer other than it slipped for sure.
Beyond the grade school level too.
It is beyond the grade school level, but the reason that Give Me Liberty chose 5th, 8th, and 11th graders, 12th graders for our focus touches is because that's when the school board of education has decided the tracks when those things are done in Utah schools. If every 5th, 8th, and 11th or 12th grader could go through the touches of what Give Me Liberty will offer, I think we're going to have a much better informed, competent group of kids who can navigate through the weird kind of conversations that happen during the college years, if that makes sense. If we wait till college, we will have waited too long. There's no way I'm going to attribute to Haley, who's a tremendous patriot, who doesn't, take the average age in this room, she's the outlier by a landslide, if you didn't notice. And I'm not going to attribute that she is where she's at today because of her Give Me Liberty as a 5th grader, but I'm not going to say it didn't help, for sure.
Any other questions for Dennis? Scott? So well, first of all, let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much, Dennis. Appreciate it. We'll get together. We'll chat with the board too, but we'll let you guys know next month if you want to bring a monetary donation, if we'll maybe get a volunteer sign up, anything we can do to start helping United We Pledge, and we'll do that throughout 2025. So we're excited to partner with them. Yeah, I have a 5th grader this year, so I'm really excited. I've been trying to get him hyped up on it. Like, I did Give Me Liberty, you're gonna memorize these things, and now they've enhanced it, as he said. So it's really great. And one of my goals, he did mention I am a millennial, but I'm worried about my generation and younger. And so this is an inspired program. And our county is always working hard to try and keep these good values and know our history and pass that on. So again, we're so thankful, Dennis, for you taking some time and for your organization, for all that you're doing. So we look forward to working with you, and it's gonna be great. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming today. We will have our last luncheon of the year next month, December 5th, and that's always a fun one to come get together, celebrate Christmas in Dixie. We'll have someone talk a little bit about, as we have the last few years, and we'll have some good music and just have a good time and bring our United We Pledge donations, all of that. So join us next month. Did I miss any other? Oh, I had an announcement. Someone gave me free oil changes at Jiffy Lube on Monday for all veterans. So if you want to share that with your veterans, that is a great thing to give them. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn, and you guys can chat. So Joanne, so moved. All right. Thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for doing Yeah, I did ask.
I'm hoping we can fill this place. Very good.
Okay, good to see you.
See you.